Abigail Gyimah. I am a Ghanaian. I work with Ghana Integrity Initiative as a project coordinator. The project I coordinate has a long title called Accountable Democratic Institutions and Systems Strengthening. So it's a comprehensive anti-corruption program that we've put together. It's run by a consortium of anti-corruption CSOs, 3 of them. So it's Ghana Integrity Initiative, Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, and Send Ghana. So this is a consortium that's working on this USAID-funded project. The project's aim is to strengthen accountability and transparency in Ghana by 2 things, mainly an upstream side, which deals with working on legal reforms and ensuring robust and effective legal frameworks that are effective for prevention and sanctioning of corruption. And then on the downstream side, the aim is to build the capacity of citizens and CSOs in the local environment to be able to demand accountability from duty bearers. So I believe that the actual cost of corruption is the human factor, that most often than not, anti-corruption strategies and fights that is going on right now has lost focus on or does not pay attention much to. So we all know that women and girls particularly experience corruption in very different ways from men, and even in the younger generation, girls experience corruption differently from boys. So I believe that in ways that corruption affect them include where they are not able to access markets, credits, even in political participation, even in situations where it has to do with their own human rights. Women experiencing issues around judicial injustice, when we have divorce cases, when they have custody cases, inheritance issues, and because of the corruption that is very pervasive in all sectors of our polity, you find that in politics you would have very corrupt political cultures, meaning that women's participation is inhibited in ways that women are expected to pay bribes to get their way through to become leaders in parties, or in ways that they have to sell their bodies to get employment also, but also even in the judiciary, where because they do not have money to pay bribes to judges or to lawyers, they get the short end of the justice system. So I believe that as young women and as women in general, to be able to meaningfully work in the fight against corruption, we need to build capacity, basically to know what the system is about, the laws, but also to actually begin to educate ourselves with different value systems, so that young people will grow up with a certain kind of value system around integrity and be able to enforce it around them. So I believe we need to get a holistic view around capacity building, not only in the very strict sense of getting knowledge around what is corruption and anti-corruption and the legal frameworks and interventions thereof, but also very simplistic education around value system and a different mindset in training, so that in intervention we bring a different perspective to the kinds of interventions that are needed in the fight against corruption. Okay, I mean, in this forum, we are very young people gathered together, trying to learn and share experiences around corruption. What is important for us to know is that the youth agency is something that cannot be overemphasized. In a world or in a continent where the young people are the majority, it's about time that the focus on anti-corruption be turned on what young people can do, what young people bring to the table. And as a young person, I think that our best selling point is our talent and our perspective. And so in doing so, we as young people need to get educated. For me, and in the course of this forum, we've shared thoughts, we've shared experiences. What is important for us as young people is the talent that we have, is the perspective that we bring to the table. But it's important in doing so that we get information, get education, build capacity, because youthful exuberance aside, we are supposed to engage a certain kind of system that is very status quo, and so to be able to meaningfully engage the system and be able to contribute to the fight against corruption, young people need to be educated, get information, ask the right questions. But importantly, the fight starts with us. So in whatever spaces that we find ourselves, in the universities, in the schools, high schools, junior high schools, even in the family, young people need to engage the spaces that they are in whatever small way that you have available to you. So my motto is that when you see something, you say something. And so you find something going on and you intuitively know there's something wrong, just say something to an adult nearby, to a system that you can access. And so in Ghana, we're working with young people to build their capacity to be able to track, report, and so the mantra we go with is resist and report corruption. And so number one, as young people, we should actually not take part in corrupt activities by desisting, for instance, in the paying of bribes, but also refusing to take bribes in one way or the other, to keep mute or not to keep mute. And also when you see a corrupt action going on, you report it. And also support others who are victims or even witnesses to corruption. And I believe that the fight against corruption is a collaborative one. And as young people, we have to come at it constructively and engage it more collaboratively. Okay, so for me, as a human being, as a young person, integrity for me is about values. And so in public service delivery, I am of the school of thought that says we place value over compliance. And so what we have, and I believe what is the cause of corruption now, is the fact that public service delivery is about ticking the boxes, getting the right 3 quotations, for instance, in procurement, and saying, we've gone through the motions and this is the person that won the bid or whatever it is. And there are ways that people have been able to get around it. But if we place more emphasis on value, it embeds integrity in the system, and it helps us to be able to question value for money issues. That yes, we want to buy 500 boxes of water, but what is the value added if we do it this way or the other way? And most importantly, as public service people, as even private citizens, the question we should ask ourselves, integrity is essential. And in being applying integrity to our work, we have to ask the question, if it was my money, would I have used this the way I was using it? And I believe that's the basic crust of integrity, which will help us be able to get value for the money that we expend in public.